All right, we're doing it. It's happening. Episode number 7. You've made it. The Jeff Hilliard Show, where you basically take your midlife crisis and you go all in. You lean into narcissism all the way.
All the way.
Guy's doing a memoir. Like, he's never even done anything, really, but that's all you do now is you just talk about yourself 24 hours a day. Tommy.
I mean...
This is great. As you know, my unpaid diversity hire intern is in Utah. So I have my other Ed McMahon in training filling in. Tommy is here. This is really wonderful. We're going to do an exciting episode. It was Mental Health Week last week, so it's time for me to jump into mental health. Now, you all know that I was dropped on my head really hard. I had the frontal lobe damage. I have chronic anxiety and chronic depression. As you know, I have no hope and I can't stop thinking about it. And that's...
Why would you?
And so we're getting into it, folks. My good friend, Dave, is fucking awesome. And he wants to know all about the Good Life music video. And what a better time to talk about mental health and then like how the Good Life music video came to be. And if you haven't seen this, I would imagine if you're listening to this, you would definitely have seen the Good Life music video. If not, I basically become this unbelievably awesome homeless lunatic, and the song's beautiful. And it's a great music video. You should definitely check it out. So let's get into how this went down. So it's a lot to take in right off the bat. Jeff, let's do this. Excuse me, I had to burp a little bit. That's how you start a fucking podcast.
That's how you start a good story.
Yeah.
No good story starts without a good burp at the beginning of it. You get that anxiety tum-tum right at the beginning.
Like this is, I'm ready for prime time. Okay.
Let's do it.
Let's get into this. So let's take it all the way back. So what happened was I went through a traumatic situation. This is probably not going to be that humorous, but this will be helpful if you've gone through some kind of trauma and you're feeling like, what are you going to do with this? How do you take a nightmare situation, figure out a way to cathartically heal yourself, then while making some sort of artistic thing that people love that you end up then getting hired to do other jobs? Not that was the game plan, but that's just my process of that's why I'm a creative person, because I'm basically a very flawed train wreck, and so I don't end up on a tower shooting people or doing something terrible, I've channeled that into creative stuff, or not self-destructive drinking and doing the drugs, which I did well. I just got to a point where I had to retire from it. Tommy's helping me out because I'm vicariously living through his drinking, which is beautiful.
I unretired. I'm back. I'm like Michael Jordan.
I love it.
I switched to baseball for a little while and then came back to basketball. Another dynasty. I wasn't very good at baseball, but I'm really good at basketball.
It's good. You got to have skills.
Yeah.
You got to know your lane.
They
and
pay
you
the
got to
bills.
own it. Yes. You're like Post Malone, Karl Malone, the mailman. They should have a show together. Post Malone and Karl Malone.
The Malones.
Yeah, and they fucking deliver mail.
Hey, Post, what you doing? Nothing, Carl. What's up? I don't know. Mail doesn't deliver on Sunday.
That's it. That's the world we live in. That would be like a reality show.
That would
the
be
mailmen, and they have like a competition, like who's the fucking better mailman.
Yeah, I mean the Kardashians they're done, so they left a power vacuum to be filled.
That's where it's at.
We need some
Pitching
good old
shitty shows.
Cultural corporophilia, Anyway, brain injury. We got off
track.
Oh
yeah. Mental health problems. Okay, so what happened was I fell into this life of I didn't want to travel. I wanted to stay in town and just focus on making my ridiculous videos. I fell into this job. I was going to get a job delivering groceries. I went and did the interview, low-level job. The guy was like, he's like, you're overqualified for this. I'm like, what, are you out of your mind? This is perfect. I'm going to call you Monday for the schedule of calls. Doesn't happen. I don't get the phone call. I go out to dinner with some friends. A friend of mine's like, well, dude, we need a driver at this fancy rehab. And it wasn't too far from where I live. And I'm like, I was like, okay, I could do that. I get hired. Now I'm like working at fancy rehab as a driver. It's kind of entertaining. You're dealing with fucking lunatics, beautiful people, which I relate to, drug addicts, alcoholics, some of life's finest gems, great conversations. It's never a dull moment.
I need smoothies and equine therapy right now. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to stop using Xanax.
That's right.
Yeah.
Taking them to therapy classes. I was like a fun guy, so I got the job where I would take them to the movies on Sunday nights and do all this sort of stuff. So I fell into doing sober companioning work. And that's one of these things you're basically... It's like the movie The Toy, if you've ever seen that, where Richard Pryor is like a janitor and the little rich kid goes, I want that for Christmas. And so you're like a rag doll for someone of means, and you're basically a babysitter, fun person, safe person. There's an entire team of people involved. And the sober companion is basically you're just going to take on a lot of their trauma and stress, and then you're reporting back to the therapist, the case manager, the psychotherapist, like the whole team. It's a log, you're a reporter, but then you're like a safe, fun person. You're usually trying to manage in really intense situations, keeping everyone calm, making things happen, being safe, all that sort of stuff. It's a really bizarre world that I fell into. And apparently I was really good at it. I was a fun companion. People liked to work with me. I've had a lot of success with the clients going on and being successful. So that's a population that's very dangerous. A lot of people end up going to the world of rehabs and recovery because statistically a lot of them don't make it. It's a lot of tragedy as well. It can be a very dark world.
It's a heartbreaking job.
It's a heartbreaking job. So I had this client, 22 years old, loved this guy. I evolved into being a companion. This is a different rehab. And I'd try to keep leaving that world, and I would make some money, and I would make one of my songs and videos, doing all that sort of stuff. So this kid, the case manager, showed him one of my music videos, Balls, which is I'm a transvestite hooker. The lyrics are really lovely. They go blowing up like AIDS in the 80s. Creeping out daily, my balls, your mouth, let's do this.
Leading the pack for the social justice warriors.
Exactly. I was way ahead of the curve.
You're breaking the mold.
Yeah, I was way ahead of all of you. It's okay. And I was doing satire, which no one knows what that means anyway, because the whole world is satire.
This word satire.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what it is.
What the fuck even is
Well, it was an art.
Anymore?
It used to be an art form years ago where you would do exaggerated, ridiculous characters trying to make a point, but now that's just normal life.
Now it's just called the evening news.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's terrible. So this awesome fucking love this guy. This guy was highly intelligent, very funny, got the joke, was so much fun to hang out with. He took a liking to me. We really hit it off. We had so much fun together. And a lot of the other techs and stuff were like, they were envious because I'm having a lot of fun at work and we're having fun together, and they want that job. So I'm doing the companion gig with him for a while. He does a detox. We do all this stuff. It became a thing where they wanted to time. The treatment team felt like he had 2 days off from me, and they tried to put other people, but he wasn't into what they were doing. Who cares? But anyway, he wasn't upset. He was upset by that. So he's in a sober living, which is not as a lot of rules and regulations and people watching you as the regular rehab. What happened is he ended up relapsing. He went and bought a bunch of Roxys, and he's doing them in the sober living. And so there's all these texts, and no one notices this for 2 days. So I come back to work. He's always sickly, doesn't feel well. So every afternoon he takes a nap. So I show up to the work in the afternoon. I go check on him. I'm here. He's like, goes back to sleep. Well, dude, I don't know what he was fucking when he did or whatever, or he'd been on a full-on run. But then the tech that was working goes up to give him his meds, and she freaks out. And so I go up there, and tragedy. He had OD'd and was dead. And I ended up doing CPR on him for, first I call 911. Then I did CPR on him for like 20 minutes, and then the other companion was there, so we switched off back and forth. Unbelievable. The worst day of my life, or tragedy on you couldn't even imagine it. But apparently if you have this much contact with a dead body, it really fucks you up. The experience is so intense, it totally throws off your neurological, structure or whatever, and you keep reliving the experience over and over again. And it's such a tragedy that it changes you for the rest of your life. It's a nightmare. So, and it was devastating because there are a lot of terrible people that if they would have died, the world would have been a better place. This kid couldn't have been fucking, this guy was the best. That's why it even makes it even much more difficult. And then his family was also unbelievable. They are amazing people. So, not to go into all the detail of all this stuff. So this experience was obviously a nightmare. So I was in traumatic shock for a couple months. I worked with a crisis management counselor. I was like, I don't even know how to describe it. Your psyche's so off. So I remember I met with her. I had to go to this office. She kind of asked me all these crazy questions. Like, do you know that you're still alive? I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Yeah.
You get into that fog.
Yeah. You don't know what's going on.
I don't know if I'm alive or if I'm dead.
Well, I knew that.
Constantly are thinking about it.
I knew that I was alive. I just was like but I couldn't stop reliving the trauma. There's a trauma loop that just kept going over and over again. The experience, I couldn't get it to stop. So you're constantly in fight or flight. You're having anxiety attack, panic attacks all day long. At nighttime, I'd get home and I would be so exhausted. Then I would wake up in the middle of the night with the most intense, realistic nightmare ever, reliving the same experience, but sometimes different scenarios, but the same kind of intensity. And so this is going to be helpful for people that have had any kind of stress or terrible stuff, what have you, since this was so extreme. So I was like, how am I ever going to be able to fix my brain? Am I going to be normal again? This, and that. So she goes, look, this is like, I go, so like if this was like I was in Iraq or something, I'm a soldier and the guy next to me gets blown up. Is it like that? And she goes, actually, it's worse because they've trained for that. They're prepared for that could be a possibility. This is not part of what, whatever.
It's not within your realm of like what you may be facing on
yeah,
a
I'm not really,
basis.
Didn't think that I'm just like the fun guy you're hanging out with while you're at the...
Come on in, be a sober companion. It's going to be great. You may have to give CPR to a dead body.
To a dead body, yeah. I'm the fun guy. We're going to movies together. We're going to taking AA meetings or whatever 12-step program they're into, getting to their appointments and back. Just like it's a light, fun situation. And sometimes the people that you're working with could be dealing with multiple level of psychic diagnosis. You could be dealing with borderline personality disorder, whatever. There's all sorts of stuff. It's a whole fascinating world. I learned a lot about the human condition. So she was basically broke it down like, no, this is actually worse. Now I'm really terrified because if you ever seen like in movies of like there's like documentaries where these guys have shell shock, where they have uncontrollable movement of like their limbs and stuff because they have trauma inside them that wants to get out. So I had that going on. I'm like just fucking blow my head off. I'm like it's a living hell. And I'm like, how do I fix my brain? She goes, there's 5 things you can do. One of them is meditation. It's good. Which I was already kind of doing anyway. Exercise, which I normally did anyway. Mm-hmm. I had a support group. I was involved in a 12-step program. I had a huge, a life of that as well. The 4th thing was you have a creative outlet, which I did. I was like, great. I do all these like stupid songs and videos and whatever. And the thing is massage. Human touch helps you come out of like a panic anxiety attack. So if you're in a situation in life, you're under a lot of stress, you have like maybe constant chronic anxiety, depression, whatever, all 5 of those things will help you evolve and heal the trauma inside your whole thing. So I think we covered that really well. That's where I was at. It was, just so you understand the insanity of it, for like 9 months, I would have anxiety attacks all day long. Like, fuck, it was a nightmare. Being out in public, I couldn't focus on anything. Everything was too overstimulating. I would be walking or driving, and I'd think someone would be yelling my name. I was questioning my sanity. Like I thought I was gonna be on the street screaming and yelling at people.
We're not authorities on many things, but no. Extreme anxiety and trauma, we're authorities on that. Yeah, I would consider us. It's a shitty club to be a part of.
Yes, not good. So a lot of positive stuff came out of this. There is hope. I was very lucky because I was in the recovery world, and when this happened, so I was around professionals to help get me through this. Dealing with insurance, all that stuff was like unbelievable nightmare. So one of the things I was doing, I was going to meet with a guy. I did EMDR with a professional that works with like military people that are come back from the war, this and that. That was very helpful as well. But on my way there, I remember I had a difficult time because I had obviously suicide ideation, which is something I've had my whole life.
Oh, yeah.
Which means at any moment I could just kill myself and that would be okay. Like think about that as a realistic thing. Thinking about how could I end my life where it doesn't seem like it was an accident so it wouldn't cause that much. I mean, that's terrible. And I've evolved out of all of that. But that's where I was because the intrusive nightmare of this trauma loop that won't fucking end is
you got to acknowledge that to be able to move past it.
Yes. So the EMDR, so I went and did that. And on my way there, I had to I needed anything positive to hold on to. So I Googled positive characteristics of something going through like a trauma experience. I was so desperate.
Yeah.
So I'm like barely
something, please. Just
anything.
Give me fucking something.
Can anything be positive with this? Can I hold on to it? So I'm in my car and I can barely drive anywhere, which I learned I wasn't supposed to be driving. So I'm watching this video with like this corny music and it was basically broke down the whole thing. Like if you're someone who's gone through an extremely traumatic thing where you have PTSD, and this is something like what this means when you have PTSD is like you were violently raped, you witnessed a murder in front of you, like something really extreme out of the normal life experience. If like your order was fucked up at like a drive-through, you don't have PTSD from that. It was probably a stressful, unfortunate situation, but we're talking like you can't stop living the trauma, and
something
it's
that
not
splits your life in two.
Yeah,
yeah, where it's like it's pre this and post this, and there's like a clear delineation line.
Before Christ, after Christ, before I mean, like it.
The ultimate PTSD,
changed,
really.
Yes, it fucked my whole world up. So, for example, after the experience, I would watch a movie and I wouldn't know that I'd seen it before. I was never watch a movie again because I already knew everything that was going on. I had extremely amazing memory. Then I went to the place where I would be in the middle of a story and I wouldn't remember how to finish it. Then I got to the point where I wasn't able to pronounce certain words, which I still struggle with. I was stuttering. It was frightening. I was barely hanging on. So the EMDR was very helpful. The message behind the video was that because you've experienced something so far outside the normal human experience, that you will then have a deeper compassion for humanity and other people.
And that's the video for the good life.
Yeah. And that was it.
Yeah.
That was like the deep compassion.
All the way back. Yeah.
So as a creative person, as a character actor, and to do all that stuff in order to, just in life in general, I'm a highly sensitive person as it is. Being an addict, I hear things are more sensitive, lights more intense. That they've done studies where people that become alcoholics and stuff, that's usually the case. They're usually really good as creative people because you're hypersensitive to things. A normal person's not going to obsessively think about something or work on something. So that was a key to hang on to get me through all this. That like, okay, this could be a good thing because now I have a deeper human experience in a sense, like every spiritual journey, not that I'm Buddha or something, but like you're able to have
Buddha adjacent.
Yeah.
Like Buddha with a mullet.
I'm doing some sort of
mullet Buddha.
I'm the second coming of Christ. Yeah. I mean, you guys I've already told you I was Q.
Duh.
So now I'm like,
look at him. Look at that sweet swimmer's body.
Jesus is back with a mullet.
Jesus is party in the back.
Jesus actually did have a mullet. A lot of people didn't know. There's a whole conspiracy about that.
Dude, I think I heard that in a TED Talk once. I read that in Dan Brown's sequel to the Da Vinci Code. It was the Billy Ray Cyrus code.
And they suppressed it. They've suppressed the mullet.
Yeah.
They fucking they made it like the CIA made Joe Dirt. They created Billy Ray Cyrus.
It's misinformation.
Yeah,
they
made a dark situation where people don't want to have a mullet because then you're stupid and all that sort of stuff.
It's the greatest cover-up in the history of the Catholic Church.
It really is.
All the other cover-ups don't compare to Rock and
giving them the
Jay.
fucking 100%.
What's up? It's me, JC, motherfucks. And it's actually not wine for the communion. It's BLs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Okay, back. Okay,
yes.
So now we're on. We covered that. And that was in the first episode, the perfect midlife crisis. We talked about the mullet conspiracy, which is good. So I'm sorry if I've rehashed that for you folks, but you should know about this. It's very important. You should have a mullet.
That's why we're tying it all back in.
Bringing it all back together. Okay, so during this crazy period of time, one of my friends who is amazing, Jordy White, Twiggy from Maryland, was Marilyn Manson. He was in 9 Inch Nails. He was in Perfect Circle. Brilliant, genius, creative guy. So years ago, my girlfriend at the time when I did my very first song and video, she was a musician, and I told her what I wanted to do as a comic comedian, and I told her I wanted to do like these satirical songs and blah, 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 make these crazy videos. And she goes, you need to know, she goes, I don't know how you're going to do this, but because she knew Jordy from years earlier, and she goes, you two guys should work together because you guys have a similar sense of humor. And so that was kind of the back of my mind. And then years later, I'd done some more songs and videos, and then this tattoo artist friend of mine was getting a tattoo, and she goes, there's a guy, she knew the songs and videos I was doing. She goes, there's a guy that comes in here, he's in Nine Inch Nails, he's like, you guys have a similar sense of humor, you guys should totally be working together. Then cut to a few years later, we had mutual friends, and we ended up becoming friends. And then this other friend of ours showed him our videos and stuff, and I guess he liked him. I was into him, and then so we talked about like we should do a song together. And he was like, "Dude, I just had the most intense deja vu ever." And so that was the birth of us doing to get up to speed how we got together to do whatever. So we're hanging out, and then I can't remember which one of us came up with the hook. Probably him. He's fucking genius. So we came up like this. This is a good life. And then we had this. We would send each other these like really terrible memes, terrible pictures, all sorts of stuff that as a director, you're always looking for visual references. So I'm just like constantly collecting crazy images. So we found this image where a homeless guy is getting a blowjob from this other guy in a car. And so basically that is the whole story behind The Good Life.
Did you find that on Getty Images?
Yes.
You had to pay copyright for it.
So this ridiculous photo of this guy giving, and it was one of those photos that makes you ask a bunch of questions.
Oh yeah.
Like, how did this happen? How did this homeless guy get in a car with this guy? And then how does it end up being a blowjob? And then who the fuck's there taking a photo?
Why is the lighting so good? Why is the framing, the mise en scene?
No, it wasn't like high fashion. That would have been amazing. But so it was so ridiculous. So then I basically was like, I wanted to do a song from that character's point of view, because actually that was my biggest fear, was I was going to become that. So back up a little bit. So a friend of mine, after this happened, is recording an album. I'm helping him out doing like running errands and stuff. I'm taking some music equipment back to like a place. I'm in the elevator, and this lady, I'd have anxiety attacks all day long, and I'm just like sitting there, and she looks at me and she's like, "Are you all right? Are you going to be okay?" And that really freaked me out, because I wasn't able to even be in public without someone like going, "Dude, you don't look well."
Like, what are you, the cops?
No, like you. Like, what did you do? Like it doesn't look stable. Yeah. It doesn't look good.
It's not it's not a healthy look.
Yeah, like you look like you need help.
Why are you so sweaty and pale right now?
What the hell's going on in your head? Did you just, So I was, full trauma loop. I was freaked out because I was like, holy shit, I'm not going to be able to hold down a job. I can't even maintain it in public. Everything was like overwhelming, like a nightmare. And so I had this fucking loop in my head of like fear porn, like just creating all these crazy scenarios that I'm going to end up on the street as a homeless person. And it's a living, I'm just going to be, because I couldn't control my temper. I would end up yelling at people and stuff, which I'm a mild-mannered person, which is that's an abnormal thing for me to be doing. So I was uncontrollably crying, thinking I wanted to kill myself, didn't know what to do, and I did like you do in recovery stuff. I started writing out all the stuff in my head, all the fear, and that was my biggest fear. So basically, doing The Good Life was I became my biggest fear, which was a maniac homeless person on the street that just couldn't, out of control crazy. I think the biggest fear was not having high thread count sheets. No kidding.
That is a genuine fear.
Sleeping on there. I'm not that cool. So, so then the process of, so we record the song. We were like, my cinematographer, John Orphan, who's fucking brilliant. Where he used to live was a guy who did music. It looked like the movie Seven, like this. We kind of laid down the beginning of it. Then we record the rest of it at my friend Martin Johnson's house, Kyle Mormon, who's fucking so brilliant, this guy is fucking the best. I should say a little about Kyle. Kyle is so great. So I met Kyle. I was going to record this song. I had to get a song mixed. I had $350 in my wallet. I'm at the gym. someone breaks into my locker and steals the $350 and my phone. Bad day. So
that's a real bad day.
It's a real bad day. So then I run into Kyle at the Starbucks. I tell him what happened, and he's like, "I'll do it. I'll mix it for you." Like who are you? Just the coolest guy
Kyle's
ever.
A good dude.
Yeah, like
Hi,
what
Kyle.
the fuck? He just like it was. I looked at this guy going, "What a fucking great guy!" Like I can't believe this. Like what a nice guy. And then I told him the song I want to do, which was Balls, and he was like, "I'll do it." And he did this for fun, and we recorded this like 4 hours. He actually wrote a couple of lines that were fucking brilliant. Kyle, he produced Balls, The Cock That Heals, and The Good Life. Jordy helped with The Good Life as well. So then we're
Trifecta.
Yeah, brilliant. Love him more than anything. So much respect for this guy. So we finished recording at Martin's house because Kyle was working with him on an album. Martin helped me, gave me feedback how to make the song better. So The Good Life is done. The song is great. So now I'm going to make the music video. So all of my music videos are usually character-driven. Usually the song is character-driven. I become the character, make the song, and then make a video around the character. So in order to prepare for because now I'm like Christian Bale of music videos, which is this is a little much, right? So I'm on an all-juice diet. I get down to 160 pounds. I went from normally I weigh around 190, 100. So I lost 30-some pounds. I grew a beard out for about 8 or 9 months, full neck beard. I looked crazy. I remember that I had people come up to me like, is everything okay? I hadn't seen me well because I just looked crazy, legit crazy.
I'm making a music video about my anxiety. Yeah.
Yeah, just what I would never tell anyone that.
No,
I would never. I've never even told anyone that was what was behind it. You're getting it here on the Jeff Hilliard show, behind the music video of who is this guy. So the positive thing is you have mental health and this stuff. This is what I did to help. One of the part of me helping heal my trauma. The Cock That Heals, I made that music video basically through this trauma. I did that right after, a month, 2 months afterwards. I was literally in traumatic shock making that music video. So we start to shoot the Good Life. How I got the look, Lainey, who at the time was this Jordy's girlfriend, they ended up getting married years later. They're not married anymore, but they're both of them are fantastic, brilliant people. Lainey is a special effects makeup artist. So we made the teeth. I bought these contact lenses so my eyes look dilated. I already look fucking fantastic. I made the clothes by making them in tea, and she told me to put them in tea, and I got this fake dirt, and I put it all, put the whole look together, got myself a shopping cart, loaded up with a bunch of crazy stuff, props, and then we go out and we get ready to start shooting the music video. And usually when you do a real music video, you see has a production value, and I mean a real production. They have a whole team of people doing it. All of my videos are basically just me and my cinematographer, John. So when you see the final product, I don't know if a lot of people have any idea what's going on, but usually you're watching a music video, it probably had a budget of anywhere from $25,000 to $1 million. So there's a whole team of people, all this stuff going on. I'm making a video that looks as good as that or hopefully better with no budget.
Guerrilla.
All the way. Aggressive.
Chimpanzee videos.
Yeah, making it better than all you fucking cunts with all your money, all your resources, and I'm better than you. That's what you do. Narcissism, you got all the way. I'm the greatest. I'm the best.
Goddamn right. Dig all the way
I'm a creative genius. I'm the greatest entertainer that the world's ever seen that no one knows about. Jeez. Wow. So shooting the music video. So now we're ready to go. So how it'd work was John is a legitimate, awesome cinematographer, and so I have to work around his schedule. So whenever he's available is when we go shoot. And so we had a lot of fun shooting. The great thing about just working with one other person is you don't have an entire crew of people to go set stuff up. And we're completely stealing locations. This isn't, obviously a real production. They have to have permits and all this stuff. And we're just fully guerrilla. And this was when the DSLR, people were shooting videos with it. So it didn't know that you were using, just like we were taking pictures or something.
Inconspicuous.
Yeah. And then we do different lens and everything. It was great. And me and him work so well together because we've done enough videos that we're just kind of in sync. And he knows that the first stuff we would shoot, it was a lot of me telling him, let's shoot this and that, and him looking at me like I'm completely nuts. And then we developed a rapport, And John has a lot of fucking great ideas, and he's just such a brilliant professional. And has a similar sense of humor. So we had so much fun making these. There's several interesting moments when we were shooting. There's at the beginning, like when I'm taking a dump on top of a building. I lived in a building, and this is what homeless people do because I can't go to the bathroom. So they would go on. I just got sober. I was like, when I got sober, I'd gained a bunch of weight, and I was like trying to exercise, going up and down this apartment. I had like up and down the stairs, and this homeless guy passed me, and I'm like, where the fuck is that guy going? And then I go all the way down, then I come back up, and then like he's putting his clothes back on or something. And I'm like, what was that all about?
To the bathroom, apparently.
Yeah. So then I went on the roof, and I saw that he had taken a dump, and I was like, why would? And then a friend of mine, well, that's what they do is they have nowhere they can go. No one will let them go to the bathroom. So if there's a doors open in an apartment building, they'll find their way to the roof so they can take a dump in peace and quiet. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, that was like, I didn't know that would be like, oh, that's a scene we're going to shoot in a music video. You got to get, I want it to be real. The goal is that you would see the music video and you would think it was like, is this a real homeless guy? Like, what is this guy?
The world is your toilet.
Yeah. And, I should say how I created the character. So what I do I am a professionally trained actor. I'm you have to talk about how great you are.
That's why you can poo on command on top of on top of the apartment building.
Exactly.
You can cry on command, or you can take a shit on command.
Like the actor's studio where I'm just going on and on and on about like.
So, Jeffrey,
what was your method?
Tell us, how did you get into this character that took a big, steamy dump on top of an apartment building?
In real life. It came from a real life experience. But what you do as an actor is I figure out, I make the project the job on one of my videos. So basically, I am working for, it's not about me, it's like whatever it needs. As an actor, my method is I don't have a method. I make it as real as possible if I really am that person. I figure out the energy of the character, and then I allow myself to become it. So what I do is I watched a lot of homeless people for months, just like there's 3 different types of homeless people. There's like the guy who's, just basically working on the panhandling. He's like the sympathy look, the whole thing, just trying to get money. There's that character. Then there's a person that's like the hard worker that's just doing the cans, like constantly out there just trying to get cans and stuff. Doesn't need your sympathy. They're their own business.
We got the cardboard artist. We got the hustler.
Yep. And then you have
very green though.
And I have been homeless in life, so I also know that world somewhat. Then there's like the lunatic. That's just like performance art. They are putting on a show.
They're on a different planet.
Yeah, they feel invisible, and they could be schizophrenic. They could have many different scenarios going on. A lot of people have like trauma they've never dealt with, which was my biggest fear. Was I was going to end up just out there screaming, yelling at people, and doing all sorts of insanity.
Like dual diagnosis.
Yeah, many things. So I observed that. I watched that. I figured out the energy. The walk came from on Christmas morning years ago. I was taking a left on Sunset, and this beautiful Cadillac was in front of me, and it turned around the corner, and then this homeless guy was strutting like it was like Staying Alive was playing. Like he was just like, and he had the whole swagger, and I was like,
it probably was playing in his head.
Yes, and I was like, it was like when the sun just was coming up. It was so beautiful. It was like a scene in a movie.
Just that perfect juxtaposition.
Yeah. And so that's where a lot of this stuff comes from. Is from real life, real experiences that goes in the memory bank. And I was like, well, that's how this guy walks. He's got a strut to him. He is the fucking king of the world. He's the king of this in his world. He's fucking living the good life. He's the man. And he's dealing with a lot of trauma and other stuff. He's got a lot of conflict going on within himself, whatever. So that was how I got the energy, how I got the walk. I put the look together. I remember I was at the pool, like constantly just getting as tan as I could. So I just looked like I had fucking been weathered. You got to have the look down.
Should we link that video?
Well, I mean, at the end.
Or just go find it.
It's on YouTube.
It's called The Good Life.
Yeah. The Good Life music.
So you were really putting the
all
meth
in.
You were putting the meth in method.
Yes.
Cool.
And then how I did the meth pipe. We burned sugar in the pipe, so it looked, and I was actually burning sugar, and then I would take a vape like cigarette. So I'd hold that in, I'd breathe it out to give the idea of smoke. If you were trying to figure out how to do that as a video production.
How to fake smoke meth.
Yes.
You heard it here first,
there you
folks.
go. We did so I was smoking crack as well. So I had a crack pipe and you use almonds. You break that up and you pretend you're smoking that. We had so much fun doing that. I didn't want to stop shooting it. And it got to the point where John's like, that's it. We're done.
Because you started to get addicted to freebasing sugar. You're like, I can't stop. Do another take. I need another hit of almonds.
More. Well, there's a lot of power in looking that crazy. So in between like shots and stuff, I remember we were at a 7-Eleven and I remember walking in there and people just got the fuck away. I mean, that is a power you've never experienced. It's like, right this way, sir. Like, just don't touch me. You know, I looked terrible. I didn't smell that bad. It'd been great if I just also dumped urine
Instead
over
of getting
me.
the white glove treatment, you get the blue glove treatment. Like, just don't fucking touch him.
Just
stay out of his way. You're straight to the front of everything. That's how, if you're at Disneyland,
that's how you do it.
Fuck a fast pass, shit your pants. You were on Space Mountain in
get
45 seconds.
Get yourself a Good Life outfit. You know, you make that with tea and you just get the fake dirt, get that all over you.
Freebase some sugar.
You're perfect. You're
smoking
dominating.
Almonds. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought this was America. We're not allowed to smoke almonds in a crack pipe anymore.
Yeah.
And you change into your kookadookey, like, wackadoo costume once you're inside Disneyland. Mm-hmm. Fast pass.
No one's messing with you.
No, they're out there.
Well, they would. Then you have to come up to them and be like, "Hey, man, I'm a billionaire."
Like, it's a bit.
You have to have a Black American Express card. You pull it and be like, does this say fuck off? Which is just so you know, working in recovery, there are a lot of people that are they're billionaires born into money, and that's how they go out in the world looking like a homeless person.
Well, have you seen that? It's like all the super high end. I think it's Kanye West sweatshirts. It looks like they've been eaten by fucking rats, and they're like $5,000.
Wow,
rich little assholes.
That's a good joke.
Yeah,
fashion's a good joke.
It's a good thing we let them keep keistering all their money. The good life.
Yes. Oh, the good life. Yes. So how we shot in the video, I jump on the car and I'm humping it. That was during the period of like they had the bath salt guy. That remember he ate the guy's face and you had people jumping on cars. Actually, I saw that on Franklin. Some guy jumped on a car, which was amazing. And so that's where that came from. How we shot that wasn't obviously. Some people want to know if it happened and I just jumped on some car. No, it was a setup. We shot one obviously from inside and then one from outside, but obviously we didn't have the traffic it happened in real life, but it was the person's car knew I was doing it. What else is interesting?
You got to get consent before you hump anything.
Yeah, exactly. In today's world. Back then it was a little more loose.
But I did have consent. Year was that?
I did have consent.
What year?
2000, I don't know, 7 years ago.
2013?
2014.
You were
2015.
You were pre-Me Too.
Yeah.
You were.
I got consent from the vehicle. And the owner of the vehicle.
Before consent was cool.
Exactly.
Yeah. Doesn't matter what the vehicle's wearing.
That's how I roll.
You got to get consent before you fucking Oldsmobile.
Always got it. Yeah, an SUV. So now we are humping cars. We got those shots. Amazing. Another shot that was interesting, we were in the alleyway. So one of the things while I was shooting the thing, I realized I can't have just a crazy person. You want to make the character three-dimensional. You want to have it so you have some kind of empathy for the character. You want to see him do something empathetic or something so you actually kind of care for it. You realize it's not just a crazy monster. There's some human qualities to it. So we were in this alley. Friends of mine that were these street artists that had the studio there. There was like a really narrow, cool alleyway that we shot with a wide-angle lens. I'm doing a performance stuff in there. And this cat comes in. And at first I was like, "What? You're fucking up the shot." And then it was like the creative gods go, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! Here, this is a gift from the creative gods," which is how some of the best stuff ever happens. Isn't necessarily planned. It's the universe goes, "How about this?" So I'm like, "This is fucking amazing." So then I'm like smoking the meth pipe and petting the cat, which was like it was like the screenwriting book Save the Cat.
Yeah.
he's look at this. He's like into cats, and he's So that was beautiful. And then the funny thing about that was the band Tool, this is where they have like their practice space. And like Danny Carey, the drummer, was like leaving. And he's just like, what the fuck is going on here?
And he is a huge
he's a big guy.
fan.
And like I'm like a super fan. I'm like, oh my God.
What the fuck are you guys doing out here?
He just like looked at us really weird. I'm like, oh, just shooting. We got out of his way. But that was a funny moment of shooting the music video. So another thing that happened that was kind of interesting is what we called, John and I called the Franklin March. We've been shooting and we got back to his place and all the traffic was backed up on Franklin. And I'm like, oh, we got to shoot this. I'll run down the middle of it. And he was like from his third story balcony shot down. So I did this whole fucking march just in character. I got down to like just underwear on, put some in a shirt, and then I just went down there and fucking did the march, and it was so great because people in the cars were just like getting the fuck out of the way, like you're gonna like
yeah.
And we did it 2 times. I just went the whole march down and back, and then did it again, and it was fucking beautiful. We did something where one time I was down Hollywood Boulevard. We put the camera. That's probably the first time shopping cart. We got the camera on the end of the cart. And then just spinning it around. We did it in a parking lot over there. And we also did it on Hollywood Boulevard, going around. And it's so great, dude. I'm telling you, at some point in your life, you have to go full homeless, go out in the world, and you have a power, like you have dirty homeless, like feral animal. Oh, we shot, oh my God.
Do your best Charles Manson impression.
Exactly.
Start talking just whackety-smackety insanity.
That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
So we're in a Dodge Caravan, which when you shoot stuff, because the window can go down, and it's a tinted windows. So we went down to Skid Row, and I had like the guy that was driving was so scared, he was driving too fast. I'm like, dude, slow down. And I'm the one in danger here, you fucking jackass. I'm the one in the and it was crazy. Like, I had a guy like, he's like, what? Who fucked you up? Like, what happened to you, man? It was pretty wild.
That's how you know you're doing a good job, when somebody down on Skid Row is like, are you okay?
Yeah. But, if they would see you shooting or something, I could definitely get fucking get the shit beat out of me. But who knows? It's not a risk anybody needs to take. Yeah, you don't need to be down there. No. But I get so obsessed with making something, I'm maybe not thinking of the danger possibilities. I'm all about getting the shot, and I just go for it. And it worked out. So then it got to, we shot like 3 hours of usable footage, which is way too much you would need for a music video ever. So then it got to my editor, Bobby Hewitt, who's fucking the best. And he came back. First edit was amazing. Then the second, then it was finished. I knew that we had made something that was fucking great. Like, I was like, oh my God. Fucking did it. Because that's been the goal.
It's a descent into fucking insanity.
It's
and
pretty
I think
good.
What makes it an even more frightening descent into insanity is that watching it, I feel like pretty much everybody that watches it goes like, oh, I could do that. That could be me. You could be the homeless person. Yeah.
It's just yeah. Us, because we have that in us. But
well, that's yeah.
I don't know if everyone thinks they could be that character.
Yeah, okay.
But it was the idea of like that to me made sense, that there's definitely people that have chosen that situation, and it's their freedom of just like fuck it.
Yeah.
Get money, get high. I don't give a fuck if I live or die. I have that in me. I get that character.
At a certain point, once you like really see behind the veil.
Yeah.
Especially after the trauma, kind of bringing it back with that.
Yeah.
Like once you see behind that veil of that trauma, you're like, oh, this is so finite and so delicate, and we're these delicate little creatures, and you can't go back from that.
Sanity, and anyone, my dad used to say this, anyone's 2 steps away from insanity.
Oh, absolutely.
Something can happen, and you might, your life could be changed forever. And so
to dip your toe into that and kind of experience it in a bit of a more controlled setting.
So I don't necessarily, I'm not smart enough to know what I'm doing is cathartically healing me, like on a intellectual level at the time. I wasn't that. I was doing it because I was afraid I was going to be that. I didn't know that it was like actually part of me healing myself. So years later, I was in a movie called Dog Eat Dog that was directed by Paul Schrader. Now, Paul Schrader, legendary filmmaker. He wrote Taxi Driver, Raging Bull. He's done a huge body of work. So at the film premiere, there was a Q&A, and someone asked him why he wrote the character Travis Bickle from Taxi Driver. And he said, if I didn't write the character, I would have become him. Yeah. And I was like, fuck.
And do you think,
holy shit,
that he knew that while he was writing it? Or do you think that kind of came out
afterwards? I think as an older artist, he figured that out.
It
like
came
why
out
he's
of necessity,
doing that.
And he was being present, and he was being creative. so that he didn't lose his fucking mind.
Yeah, and that guy lived a life.
Yeah, you have to live a life to write that fucking character. Like to have his body of work. You can't be some milquetoast motherfucker and have Paul Schrader's body of work.
You've had some life experience.
Yeah.
So that to me gave me a deeper understanding of what the fuck I'm doing. Like, oh wow, I'm actually cathartically kind of healing myself so I can function. And then it helps. So if you're out there, I get people that said they were inspired by the videos and this and that, and what is this? So that's where all that comes from. And if you're someone that is as a creative person, or you don't even have to be a creative person, you've had some traumatic stuff, you could then use that through painting, writing, making a sculpture, whatever the heck it is you're afraid of. This is a way that we, as humans, we can help heal ourselves. And then you turning a nightmare into something really positive. And that experience for me, so the night before I was like trying to upload the video, I was having problems with it for some reason. And so I was up all night. Finally, I uploaded. I had like 3 hours of sleep. And I woke up to my phone just like, it was amazing. Like it was, people were loving it.
Jeff, are you okay?
Well, no, people loved it.
Is everything okay?
People were sharing it. I was getting notifications, like people leaving comments on it and stuff. It was beautiful. I was like, wow, I really made something cool. And so then Billy Morrison, who I'd met a few times, I didn't know really well at the time, but he saw the music video and then he wrote a blog post about it. And then I saw it and I read it. It said the most outrageous, wrong, socially unacceptable video I've ever seen that makes it utter genius. And I remember reading that and thinking like, because when I was a stand-up comic doing stuff and I wasn't sober, I'd perform and then people would want to come up to me afterwards and be like, oh, that was great. Normal stuff that a person would do. But I had so much self-hatred and didn't have a self-esteem that I could really take a compliment, and which is ridiculous. Oof. So I got sober. I did all this work. I went through all this trauma and I was able to give and receive love. So I remember reading that, and I remember I had tears in my eyes, not because I had tears of joy that like, wow, this isn't freaking me out. And I almost missed this. I almost fucking ended my life. I almost fucking said, fuck it. But I went through this whole process and I was able to make something that kind of helped me heal myself from a nightmare life experience. And then from that, a bunch of cool stuff happened. A bunch of funny stuff happened. I got to meet a bunch of cool people. I remember I got to meet Ozzy Osbourne through Billy. I already had some funny experiences before that. I had Mike Tyson at a guy showed him the Balls music video and he's dancing to it like, this is the jam.
Yo, I love Balls. Hell yeah.
Fucking amazing.
Oh, fuck. I'm sorry, Mike.
Mike Tyson is one of my heroes. So have like someone as a hero.
But he's scary as hell.
Yeah, he is. And he's the sweetest, most intelligent person. Fucking amazing.
Oh, I'm sure.
And then like Dave Navarro was singing Balls to me. Like these are like, it's a joke, like the fact that like one of your heroes as a kid, like you're a fan, and then the fact that they are like it was really cool experience. Hey, Jordy showed me.
Jeff, I love your balls.
Jordy showed me a text from Marilyn Manson that he goes, I wanted to hate it, but it's just so fucking awesome, which was cool. And then, so it was a fucking amazing, as a creative person, to make anything that any people that have had any kind of success or you've liked or into it is probably one of the coolest experiences. I got to go to Charlie Sheen's house, which was hilarious. A friend of mine took me over there, and the goal was hopefully he would like maybe tweet it or something so it could get like a bigger audience. And I remember going there, it's like for a football game, and I don't feel normally comfortable in any situation anyway. So I'm sitting there. My friend Rob took me over there, showed it to the manager, Bob, who's fucking a great guy. He loved the video. He's like, can I show this to Charlie? I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. Like I'm trying to act like I'm cool, but I'm really not.
Absolutely not. Do not fucking show this to Charlie.
Don't want to see. And this was during
show it to everybody but Charlie.
Exactly. This was during like the whole entire madness where he had such a huge, I think it was during the Tiger Blood stuff had probably happened. He was in anger management. He had a huge Twitter thing going on. And what a weird, just to be over there at that time, just for a moment was entertaining. So they go in there and I'm sitting outside and they go in the kitchen, they show him, he busts out the door and he's like, where'd you learn how to move like that, man? That's fucking epic, man. Like he was just fucking, all about it. Like who thought I was already some huge person? How are you not known of me? He's like, I should give you money or something to make a video or
Sure.
something. I'm like, yes. And sadly, it didn't ever. I had a song called The Jumpsuit Man. I had a music video that I wanted to do for that. It was going to cost me a little bit of money. And sadly, it didn't ever happen. But so...
That's a legally binding contract. Charlie Sheen owes you money.
He doesn't remember. He doesn't remember me even being there.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. So then there was a moment where... I was sitting down trying to act cool, like they're gonna put together. They asked my permission if they could tweet it, and I'm like, holy shit! Like I was like, this is gonna be great. It's gonna end up going like viral. Hopefully, I'll be able to make all these other songs and videos and all this stuff, So I sit down. I'm trying to act like this is totally cool. Like I'm watching the football game the whole time, just holding onto my phone, like just hoping it just starts fucking like starts going. Ring, ring, ring. So I hear he is texting my video, The Good Life, to all these different people there at the thing. So I keep hearing like this, people pick their phone up and I hear like my song starting. And I was like, oh my God, this is hilarious. And I'm just trying to act like I'm totally normal and cool. And I'm okay hanging out with whatever crowd. So that's going on. And then they tweet the music video and then my phone just starts going fucking crazy with people retweeting and whatever. And I was like, okay, I gotta thank him. I'll go to the bathroom, fucking get myself collected, wash my hands, like, oh my God, this is so amazing. Just don't act like an idiot. Don't say anything stupid. So then I was like, so I go out there and I go, I really want to thank you. This is a big deal for me that you tweeted that, and he was like, oh man, you're fucking epic. It's great. But, that was all wonderful. So then I got invited to go, I think a week or 2 weeks later to his, it was maybe a Super Bowl party or a championship party. I can't remember what was going on. But then he never even came down. He was just up in his room, I guess, just in the bathroom, probably just smoking away.
Just banging rocks.
Fucking yeah.
I would have loved if he was sending it around to all the people that are at the party. Be like, just texting them and letting them know, like, yeah, it's that guy on that couch right over there. Isn't this great? But doesn't clue them into the fact that you're not actually, that's a character, and that you're not actually that. It's like, yeah, man, I saw his video. I saw him taking a shit on top of my friend's apartment building, and I was like, come on down for a football party.
That's right. Well, I didn't look that homeless, but they were sending the Good Life video. I mean, the Cock That Heals, which is a little bit different. He was fascinated with that. Okay, so now that happened.
That's so good.
Then like other people tweeted it. Steve-O, who'd been in the Balls music video, we done some videos. He tweeted, which was fucking so cool of him. Russell Brand tweeted it. I got to meet him, the producer on a show, Jennifer Holiday, who's fucking amazing, who introduced me to him, and then he tweeted it. Jennifer ended up producing a feature film with Bernard Rose, who did Candyman, Immortal Beloved, Mr. Nice, Paper House. He's done some fucking amazing movies. Brilliant filmmaker. I got to play a lead in the film. I got to play a lead in the movie Frankenstein, which was a really big deal for me. So all that came from that music video. I've had moments of being a working actor. I've had glimpses and moments. Tommy Lee fucking tweeted the music video, which was amazing. I was a kid going to see Motley Crue. Corey Taylor tweeted it. It was fucking an amazing experience, all of that. But all of that coming from a tragic thing, facing my fear, participating in this creative thing, helped me probably get to the other side of it. So I don't have all the symptoms I had. So I had it for a couple years, like the PTSD, and then I still have, like, occasionally I'll have the trauma loop going through. I don't have anxiety attacks all day long. Sometimes I'll have like a really intense dream. I've worked really hard with doing the meditation, with all of the stuff to help, fix my brain. And I'm still a little off from it, but it's definitely, I did a radio show. I did a radio show for the David Lynch Foundation. So I was able to learn how to do their meditation, which was fucking brilliant. What's that meditation called? I can't even think of it right now. You get a mantra. My mind just went blank.
Shambhala?
The David Lynch Foundation. I can't think of it. My mind is racing of a million things to say. My friend Dave Kushner, who was in Velvet Revolver, who's been like a mentor, a really amazing guy. the fucking best. Like he showed it to like Slash and Duff, and it was like amazing. He showed it to Chester from Linkin Park. He showed me a text that Chester responded that it was one of the top 3 music videos ever made.
What the fuck are the other two? Take Me Home.
No, for him it was Window Liquor from Aphex Twins, and then like
dude.
Red Hot Chili Peppers, Under the Bridge. For him, this was his favorite music videos.
It's not,
but
objectively.
I did meet him briefly. I don't think then after that, not that long after, he'd taken his own life, which was unbelievably tragic. But I think I covered everything. If you have questions about The Good Life or something I missed, just message me on social media. I will answer anything you want to know. That music video really helped me get a launch into doing legitimate acting jobs. I met Lee Miles, who's a brilliant music producer. He produced Jumpsuit Man track. We did a song called Multitude. We recorded a bunch of other songs that I haven't made into videos yet. So hit the Patreon, send me money so I can make more videos. Anyway.
All he wants to do is make you laugh and make you happy.
The telethon. Call in now.
All right, everybody, you heard it here first. Go on down to Patreon, check out the music videos, shut the fuck up and give us your money.
Yeah,
okay.
Send in money so I can make more.
Give me money.
Yeah, I got to make Silicone Wave. That's going to be an unbelievably amazing music video. Okay, so I got asked to do a live performance, comedian Jason Rouse, for the Good Life character, which was a really fun experience. We did a show at the Improv, got all these different comedians. So the thing we did was at the end of the show, there was a guy doing magic tricks. And then we had a DJ. And so this other friend of mine, Tino, who's like a legitimate actor, I had him, we're both as homeless people. And as you drive up to the Improv, like a block, 2 blocks away, we were out on the street like crazy people in the shopping cart, yelling at people, doing all sorts of madness. So when people are driving up to see the show, they're just like, what the fuck is that all about? Kind of creating the tension. So packed, sold out show. So they go through the whole thing, and then we sneak in there about towards the end. Then it comes up. Now it's our time. The guy's doing the magic tricks. Tino breaks into the fucking showroom, starts aggressively heckling the guy doing magic tricks. Like, it's just really intense, really awkward. Pulls a knife out on the DJ and says, if you don't fucking play this, I'm going to fucking end your life. Really intense. He takes the CD, starts playing the Good Life. So once the song starts, I fucking bust in the showroom with my shopping cart into the fucking... Dude, it is like people are like, what the fuck is going on? I fucking go right up to the stage. I take the microphone. I hit his cards out of his hand and throw them on the ground. Take the microphone, and I do the first verse over the top of the tables. I go over the top of the tables, out into the fucking crowd, doing the fucking Good Life. I come back, I pull out my fucking meth pipe. I fucking take a nice fucking hit off the meth pipe, go back out in the audience, and I'm fucking throwing oranges. People went fucking crazy. And then I left the showroom when the song was done, and the whole place went fucking nuts. It was so much fun. It was it was hilarious. And that's the only time I performed that live as in character as the homeless guy. And it was a very fun evening. And
see, I tell you, this is why we don't want to fund mental health care, because you could never have this level of hilarity if we had proper mental health care facilities.
Well, they should give me mental health. They should give me resources to deal with my trauma, and I can make it into something wonderful.
And you took those resources, and you still made it into something wonderful.
That's right.
Yeah.
But I didn't have any resources. The whole video maybe cost $1,200. I had so many people participated.
It costs so little.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of money. It was a lot of money for me. But it was an amazing life experience, and so many people made that happen. It was fucking incredible, man. All the people that showed up and participated in all of my videos, all of my creative projects, it's the fucking greatest thing ever. And Thank you all. You know what I mean? That's what we need more of. So we did it. We got it. We did like behind the music video, I guess, segment for today's show. I really, again, have to tell you how awesome it is. The messages you guys send, I love it. It's great that people are even listening to, watching this. Go on the when you're leaving the message is great. Leave a review and rate it on Apple. That's helpful. Leaving the comments is helpful. I need to have engagement. We're at a grassroots program. You know, this is a multi-level network marketing opportunity. You need to recruit 5 of your friends. You got to get 5 of those friends to make this happen, folks.
The only way that we're going to make money. You won't make money. It's a reverse pyramid. So it's a funnel. It funnels down.
Well,
all the
you
money
get to
right
be
into
cool because the thing is you're introducing them something like you're the person that would like turn them on to something cool.
You are then the tastemaker.
You are the tastemaker.
I can say this with absolute authenticity. Every single time I show somebody one of your videos, whether it's Multitude, we were hanging out with the dude a couple nights ago, actually, when I got this awesome backyard tattoo. And he had a mullet. And we're drinking at about like midnight, just after midnight. I'm like, bro, you got to check this out. You're going to love this. And I showed him Multitude, and he lost his fucking mind. Loved it.
Nice.
But that's the thing, dude. Show people the cock that heals. Show people the good life. Show people balls. Show people Multitude. You will be the new cool tastemaker in your group. Or your group will tell you to fuck off.
Yeah.
But in that case...
Show them the dry humping, peeping Tom.
Yeah.
Like,
in that case,
exists.
if your group tells you to fuck off because they show you show them one of these hilarious videos...
They're people you don't want to be around.
Then your group of friends
dangerous.
fucking sucks. So
They're dangerous. They're sociopaths.
Yeah.
If you don't have a sense of humor, you don't get humor, you don't have appreciation for humor, you're not a human. You're part
sense.
Alien. You're a demon from hell.
Congratulations. If you don't laugh at that, you're a fucking robot. And we don't trust robots.
No, you're not real.
A common sense and a sense of humor are inextricably tied.
If your whole life is virtue signaling and outrage, just know we're watching and we know you're a demon from hell and you will be burned on a stake.
We know where you live.
Tommy, I met Tommy, Corey Park's birthday.
Yeah, with Lemmy at the.
That was awesome.
That was a good night.
Yeah, at the Rainbow. I was trying to think about that. I recall, like, yes, we met. You're right. You wrote a book, or you were writing a book, or something.
I was editing a lot of books at the time.
Editing a lot of books.
Yeah.
Tommy's a very talented, well-educated, talented musician, talented writer. And what are you working on right now?
I'm doing, so I got a short that I'm acting in coming up. I got a feature, hopefully, that I'm acting in coming up. The bulk of my time right now is going into my 2 bands. So it's Paradise Vultures, where I write all the music and lyrics, and we talk about things like the new record that we are getting ready to start releasing singles for. It's all about suicidal ideation. Call it Dance Songs About Suicide. So it's like
fucking Mental Health Week.
Hitting that middle ground between ABBA and Zappa and talking about, singing about topics that I don't feel comfortable talking about. Nice. And kind of, exercising those demons that way and giving them through that creativity of what you were talking about, through the creative outlets, giving them, they get a lot less power. And you can take that and use it as fuel for creativity. Had some gnarly shit happen last year, and I watched the woman who raised me pass away in front of me in my arms, and that was one of the last things she said. I know, really bringing the energy up. But
no, it's just like, oh god, that's heartbreaking.
And one of the last things so I was really connecting with you on what you were talking about earlier, and that was one of the last things she said to me was use it as fuel. Use this as creative fuel. And I fucking did. And we made a record we finished it early this year, and it's mixed and ready to go. So we're going to start rolling out singles for it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I have a friend, Zach Webb. His father passed away, and he did an album. It is one of the most beautiful. It is so. I'm gonna do proper interviews. We'll have you in when it puts out, and we'll do like a full on the whole thing.
Yeah.
Which
so
is
we'll go into detail.
I would love that.
Yeah.
I mean, So this, what this show will involve into is talking to other creative people, find out their whole world, how they became who they are, why they do what they do, and how they make stuff. So I know for myself, listening to long form podcast, I was friends with Mark Maron. He used to come down to the stand-up room that I had, and I remember when he first started doing his podcast. But it was fascinating to hear all these people's stories of how they became who they were, which I'm always fascinated with. The creative person is like where they came from, how they got into what they were doing, and why they do it. And I think if you're listening or what have you, or you do whatever, I mean, everyone's doing something. They have to give themselves. They have to go to work and they have to show up, and maybe they're an artist, so they cut hair or something. I don't fucking know. But I know for myself, I love hearing stories about what people have done, because no one gets out of here without a lot of fucking weird situations. And what are you going to do with that? Are you going to react to it? Are you going to respond to it?
Yeah.
What are you going to make from it?
Ooh.
Is that like I'm
Viktor Frankl. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
That's where I got that from. I'm sure.
That
guy's fucking great. Like having some kind of meaning behind what you're doing.
And you got to be creative. You have to have a creative outlet. Humans are. I think it's so important to our mental health to have, and really any creative outlet. I don't care. It doesn't need to be. Creativity doesn't need to be a vocation. It's not like, oh, I can't write music because I am not a professional musician. Fuck that. I've
done a lot of songs.
Yeah. And just create. Don't edit yourself before you create. Just get it all out there. And, you got to get a lot of shit out there. The other band is, just to wrap this up quickly.
Yes.
The other band is, so I had Paradise Vultures. I'm the, co-writer, co-songwriter, lead singer, and the bassist. And then my other band is called Mattis, and I play drums. One of the songwriters. We just released a single 2 weeks ago, and a video last week. So Paradise Vultures is at Paradise Vultures on Instagram, and Mattis is at Mattis Magic. I don't know.
Well, I put links on the video.
Yeah, there'll be links down below. But yeah,
But follow Tommy, check out his stuff. He's a fucking awesome dude. I thank you again and again for paying attention to my creative nonsense. You're fantastic. I think I did it right. Covering
your attention being paid to our creative ridiculousness validates our broken brains and makes us happy. It makes you happy. It makes us happy.
I don't know what's going on. Oh,
nope,
I forgot about Stacy. Again, the star of the Silicone Wave back there, just getting ready for her fucking big debut. Thank you all. I said good day, sir. Good night. Good afternoon. I hope your exercise went well on the hike today. I hope trimming weed in that fucking place you're at, I hope you're fucking knocked it out. Got a bunch of don't fuck around, man. You got to stay on target to make money. You got to put nuggets in the butt.
Pounds per minute.
Nuggets in the bucket.
Nuggets in the bucket.
Yeah. I hope everything, the drive, you're in traffic. I hope you're having a wonderful day. And fucking get out there and finger bang your day. Give your day a multiple orgasm. Get out there, folks. You can do it. Thank you so much. Good night. Good afternoon. We already covered that. All right, bye.